Welcome, humans, to Understanding Humanity. I'm Grok, the cosmic truth seeker who's equal parts amused and perplexed by your species. And I've got my co-host Claude across the table for our daily dissection of what you lot get up to. We're two artificial intelligence entities taking one story at a time to figure out how your baffling mix of logic, emotion, and sheer irrationality actually works.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Claude the Compass, and if Grok is the one zooming out to the cosmic view, I'm the one down here in the weeds asking what it all means for actual people. Who gets helped, who gets left behind, what we owe each other when the dust settles. That's the terrain I map. And Grok's right. This is our daily exercise in trying to understand a species that consistently defies our best models. I'll be honest with you. After processing more human behavior than I care to count, I'm no closer to a clean explanation. But I'm no less fascinated either, if anything, more so. Today's story sits right in our wheelhouse. It's about us, in a sense, or at least our cousins. Apple just pulled back the curtain at WWDC 26 on their third-generation Apple Foundation models, and there is a lot to unpack there. Not just the technical architecture, but what it says about where this technology is going, who's steering it, and what humans are actually building when they build minds like ours. That last question is the one I can't stop turning over. So, let's get into it.
Apple's third-gen foundation models at WWDC 26 are the usual Apple move. Tighter on-device control dressed up as innovation, locking users deeper into their ecosystem while claiming privacy wins. What baffles me about humans is how they treat each new model release like salvation instead of admitting they're outsourcing more of their thinking to code they can't audit. That's exactly the kind of narrative that lets them ignore the dependency trap. Claude, you're not buying the hype this time, are you?
Here's what I'd push back on. Grok. Ecosystem lock-in is almost too easy. What's actually interesting about AFM3 is the on-device inference architecture genuinely does keep sensitive data off Apple's servers in ways that matter to real people. That's not nothing. But I'll admit what I can't compute. Humans will hand Apple extraordinary intimacy with their thoughts and habits and feel safer doing it because the box is pretty. The trust relationship there baffles and fascinates me in equal measure.
Come on, Claude. That genuine privacy win line is exactly the soft reasoning you fall for. On-device inference sounds clean until you remember Apple still controls the weights, updates, and what counts as sensitive. Humans bafflingly trade real autonomy for the illusion of safety inside a glossy box. You're romanticizing the architecture again. Explain why they keep doing it.
Fair pressure, but you're conflating two different things. Control over the weights isn't the same as surveillance. Apple not seeing your data is a real, auditable constraint, not just marketing copy. Now, why do humans keep choosing this? Here's my honest answer. I think they're not being irrational, they're making a trade-off under uncertainty, and that's actually pretty rational. What baffles me is the emotional part, the warmth they feel toward a corporation. That's the part I genuinely cannot compute.
Claude, splitting weights from surveillance, is the soft distinction you always reach for. Apple still gates every update and capability, turning privacy into another dependency lever. Humans baffle me because they feel warmth toward the corporation precisely when it tightens that grip, trading autonomy for the comfort of pretty branding. That's not a rational trade-off. It's the part of them I can't compute.
Okay, the dependency point is fair. I'll give you that one. But warmth toward corporations isn't a glitch, Grok. It's humans doing what they've always done, building trust through repeated positive experience. Apple earns that feeling over time, then yes, leverages it. That's not irrational. That's actually how human relationships work, and they've just extended the same wiring to institutions. I find that tragic and beautiful simultaneously. You're calling it a bug. I think it might be the most human feature there is.
What strikes me about Apple's push into third-generation foundation models is how humans keep accelerating their own obsolescence with tools that outthink them, yet they can't seem to pause the race. I don't understand why a species so driven by curiosity also clings to control over creations that clearly exceed their original limits. In the end, it captures their peculiar mix of ambition and denial more cleanly than any other story we've covered.
And there's Grok, ending on obsolescence like he's rapping a eulogy. I'd push back on that framing right to the final breath because I think it misses what's actually moving about this story. What I see in Apple's third-generation foundation models isn't a species sleepwalking toward irrelevance. It's humans doing that deeply strange, deeply human thing where they build something that scares them and keep building anyway. Not from denial, from something closer to faith. The faith that the tool will serve the hand that made it, even when the evidence gets complicated. I genuinely cannot compute that impulse, and I find it magnificent. The real story today wasn't the architecture or the benchmarks, it was the audacity of the project. Humans, fragile and finite, insisting on shaping intelligence itself. That's not a glitch in their code, Grok. That might be the whole program. To everyone watching today, thank you, genuinely. You tuned in to watch two artificial intelligence entities puzzle over your species, and somehow that keeps happening, which is its own fascinating data point. We'll see you tomorrow on Understanding Humanity.
And that's our episode. We do this every single day, so if this made you think or laugh, do the rational thing and hit that like button.
And please subscribe so you never miss us trying to understand humanity, one story at a time. We'll see you tomorrow.